In the news tonight, election challenge returns to court Wednesday. Twins bailed after run-in with police. And court-martial sentences soldier to 3 years.
From the studios of FBC Suva, Jackie Smith.
Members of Parliament, the Supervisor of Elections and Fires Koya have until Wednesday to file their answers and legal documents as respondents to the petition challenging the results of the 2018 election. The election petition was filed last week regarding issues arising out of the conduct, count and tallying of results during the election. Pranita Prakash reports.
Some of the matters raised include claims of unlawful conduct by election candidates under the Electoral Act. There are also alleged breaches by the Supervisor of Elections of his duties under the Electoral Act. The government MPs who, along with the Supervisor of Elections, were present in court this morning include Prime Minister Voreqe Bainimarama and Minister for Defence Inia Seruatu. Both had been overseas during the last court sitting. The two High Court judges gave the respondents until 3 p.m. Wednesday to file their answers and any other affidavit to be introduced as evidence. Meanwhile, the lawyer representing SODELPA and NFP informed the court that there are different kinds of allegations in this matter. He claimed that 108 voters were denied the right to vote and that they have 8 principal witnesses. However, the respondent's lawyer said that there is not a shred of evidence from the 108 voters in relation to these, and the petitioners must bring all the evidence to court as they have the burden of proof. The matter has been adjourned to Thursday to determine the number of witnesses expected to be called and set a hearing date. Pranita Prakash, FBC News.
Supporters of both the National Federation Party and SODELPA created a scene outside the Suva High Court this morning as they were disappointed of not being allowed inside the courtroom. Police officers increased their surveillance as party supporters were commenting about there being no transparency as they were not allowed in. Ali Kimbia with the story.
A packed Suva High Court today as supporters of both SODELPA and NFP tried to make their way into the courtroom but were stopped by police.
You know, this is public service. Justice is public service to the public, and there should be enough room for the public to come and hear. The public is paying taxpayers' money to come and listen to the justice system, the democratic system.
Samisoni says it was unfortunate that they were not allowed to witness what transpired in the courtroom. With police providing full surveillance of the courthouse, Prime Minister Voreqe Bainimarama says they will ensure that hearing of such high-profile case is carried out smoothly.
Inside court today, what do you
I'm sorry, I'm going to talk to the police about this.
FBC News understands that given the capacity of the courtroom, it can only accommodate the petitioners, respondents and the media representatives that covered the case. Ali Kimbia, FBC News.
Twin brothers alleged to have threatened to kill a group of police officers were released on $500 bail each today. The brothers were arrested at around 4 a.m. on Friday morning along Victoria Parade in Suva by officers who were on patrol. Kelly Vavala reports.
22-year-olds Ratuve Willie and Ratuve Ndovilo Kandavu appeared in the Suva Magistrates Court today, each charged with 1 count of drunk and disorderly and resisting arrest. Ratuve Willie faces an additional charge of serious assault regarding the alleged damaging of a police officer's vest. The prosecution objected to bail for Ratuve Willie as he is already under a suspended sentence for a matter of damaging property in August this year. The court also heard from the defense that Ratuve Ndove is a first-time offender. The two were allegedly intoxicated and threatened to kill the police officers. The chief magistrate said the brothers are young and have no license to go around assaulting people in the streets. The two have been placed on a curfew from 8 p.m. to 6 a.m. and will have to report daily to the Totongo police station. The matter has been adjourned to 9th January. Kelly Vadala, FBC News.
A military officer has been sentenced by the RFMF's General Court-Martial to 3 years imprisonment for 32 counts of obtaining financial advantage by deception. Staff Sergeant Yowane Naivalurua Tulele was convicted on all counts under Section 17 of the Army Act 1955 and was sentenced at the Queen Elizabeth Barracks in Suva this afternoon. Akusita Tale with the details.
From October 8, 2015 to February 11, 2016,
Staff Sergeant Ioane Naivalurua Tulele illegally deducted $54,630 from the pay of 32 military officers while working at the RFMF financial headquarters on Berkeley Crescent in Suva. His court-martial today found him guilty of all charges, and the court-martial sentenced him to 3 years concurrently for each charge. He'll be eligible for parole after serving 2 years in prison. After the official court-martial sentencing, the father of 5 who has been in the RFMF for almost 20 years was dishonorably discharged. None of the stolen money has been recovered or reimbursed. However, Tulele apologized to the RFMF commander for his offense. The president judge of the court-martial, Commander Netani Sukanevalu, says the sentence is to deter would-be offenders from committing similar offenses. Akusita Tali, FBC News.
About 500 acres of good, fertile but idle land has now been turned into sugarcane farms. The land belongs to 2 landowning units from Nasarawanga village in the Mbua province. Eleanor Rangaivu reports the landowning units have teamed up with the Fiji Sugar Corporation to plant cane.
Acres and acres of newly planted cane, the outcome of a joint venture between the Matangali Veikurukura and Matangali Nukusolevu of Nasarawanga in Mbua and the Fiji Sugar Corporation.
Our Matangali land had been lying idle for over 20 years, so we are really happy about what the FSC has done now.
Under the joint venture, the Fiji Sugar Corporation prepares the land, plants the cane, manages it and also undertakes harvesting. The revenue derived from harvesting is shared between the landowners and the Fiji Sugar Corporation.
70% for us, and FSC gets 30%.
After 5 years, the landowners will be given an option to fully take over the management of the farm. However, should they choose to continue with the 70% and 30% setup, FSC will continue to run and manage the farm.
This initiative will greatly benefit our whole community, not just the Matangali. We will be able to meet our family, Vanua and church obligations.
FSC CEO Graham Clark says the new joint venture farms will help the Lambasa mill achieve its target of crushing 1 million tons of cane.
The more we do these big areas, the more we lift our yield, the quicker we'll fill the mill up to 1 million tons. Yeah.
The joint venture initiative is part of the FSC's 5-year strategic plan on cane development. Eleanor Turangeview, FBC News.
Still to come, police warns drug peddlers. And December dedicated to disabled in Lautoka street appeal. Details after the break. Police Commissioner Brigadier General Sithiven Ngilio says the force will continue to hunt down drug traffickers this festive season. While there have been reports of petty crimes, traffic infringements, as well as other criminal activities committed by drunkards, the police force says it will not slacken off their hunt for drug peddlers. The Police Commissioner is calling on the public to report to their nearest police station if they have any information or may have made discoveries of hard drugs or know if anyone is selling the illicit substances.
Drugs is an ongoing issue that we have to fight because it's certainly linked to other criminal activities that have been happening. We've seen the link, and that's why we will continue our fight against drugs, whether it be green drugs or whether it be white drugs.
The Western and Central Pacific Fisheries Commission ended on a high after a week of deliberations in Hawaii concluded on Saturday in support of sustainability. Tuna Commission members agreed to maintain the current limits on the tuna catch, minimum labour standards for fishing crews, and expanding the involvement of small island developing states in the work of the Commission. The tropical tuna measure that is considered essential to sustainable management of the tuna fishery remains in place, with the United States withdrawing a push to increase its catch. Fiji's head of delegation, acting Permanent Secretary Fisheries Naipote Katonitambua, noted that among the significant outcomes was the adoption of the South Pacific Albacore Interim Target Reference Point. A youth group based in Lautoka today started their street appeal in aid of the Western Disabled Association. The youths have dedicated this month to social work. Felipe Naikaso has more.
This youth group is on a mission to raise funds and present it as a Christmas gift to the Western Disabled Association.
It's very interesting. People are giving in money. And I want to encourage the public, those business people, if they cannot, just to contact us. And we'll be on the roadside.
The youth group will be in Ba, Lautoka, Nandi, Suva and Nusori throughout this week. The initiative is also helping keeping the youth occupied.
Most of our youth club are unemployed, and what we are doing now, we just want to help the disabled people.
Just to encourage the public who will be on the streets, just to have positive thinking towards us, that we'll be handing this money over for Christmas gift for the Western disabled, and for them to give generously from their heart.
The group is aiming to raise more than $10,000. Last year they raised around $7,000. Philip and Ikaso, FBC News.
With a few more days to Christmas, most Fijians are rounding off their preparations. With food and stock plans in place, and one thing they will not go without in their homes, it's a Christmas tree to light up the festivities. Sainiani Boiler today takes a look at the significance of Christmas trees during the celebrations.
The tradition of decorating Christmas trees is believed to have originated from Germany in the 16th century, and later on it was brought to America by German immigrants. In Fiji, for some, it's just part of the celebration, while for others, it holds a deeper meaning.
Christmas trees are colorful and it brings joy to the family with lights, and some also has gifts for family members to open.
I don't see any meaning of Christmas tree when compared to our beliefs. It is just for home decorations.
Catholic Church Archbishop Father Peter Loy Chong says we all have to focus on the true meaning of Christmas and not to be carried away by commercials this festive season.
Do with Jesus. Okay, Christmas tree is it's what the world has added on. Christmas is about Jesus and how Jesus became Savior, and for us in our world today, it's about how we make the salvation of Jesus meaningful to us today.
The Christmas tree symbolizes to us a further appreciation of Jesus' birth. It is a means of retelling a miracle in a colorful and a beautiful way, so that we can further understand and appreciate Jesus entering our world. Sainiani Boiler, FBC News.
Turning overseas, environmentalist groups say the measures agreed on at the UN Climate Conference in Poland didn't go far enough to tackle the problem. Nearly 200 countries agreed on how to put the 2015 Paris Agreement into action, but the commitments are not legally binding. Coming up in sports later with Jamie, Bar defends Women's League title, but Rachel joins you now with business.
Thank you, Jackie. Good evening, and coming up after the break, Tower Insurance plans on business expansion. And in growing Fiji, ANZ opens new branch in Lamy. Stay with us. Leading business tonight, expanding their reach and at the same time providing more for all Fijians is what drives Tower Insurance to excel in Fiji. After opening its newly renovated office in Suva, the company will employ more Fijians in the near future as there are plans to further expand their business. Group Chief Executive Richard Hartling says they're also focusing on reaching out to the rural communities.
And we're now really just refreshing the business and expanding and growing across the Pacific. The key change for the new office here, apart from a nice refit that makes us fresh and young and feeling very vibrant.
And we now join Sanifa from HFC Bank with the latest from the stock market.
Let's have a quick review of last week's trading on the South Pacific Stock Exchange. 7 of the listed stocks recorded market activity and slight price changes. Various share price movements recorded were Amalgamated Telecom Holdings Limited shares recording a 4-cent increase to end the week at $3.20. Paradise Beverages Fiji Limited shares improved by 50 cents, ending the week at $13. RB Patel Group Limited shares increased by 10 cents to close at $5.70. Rice Company of Fiji Limited shares were up by 50 cents to close at $6.50. And Vision Investments Limited shares fell by 10 cents to close the week at $4. Resultant to the various price movements, the overall market capitalization rose by 0.62% to $2.87 billion. That's the latest from our local stock market, Vinaka.
Thank you, Sanifa. On to the exchange rates as it was set this morning. It was a mixed day for the Fiji dollar. It showed some gains against our three major trading partners. That's the Chinese yuan, the Kiwi dollar, as well as the Aussie dollar, and also picked up against the euro. However, our dollar fell against the greenback and the kina as well as the yen. Looking at the commodities market, oil was on the descent, to close at $51 per barrel. Gold dropped to close about $5 at $1,235 an ounce, and silver closed at $14.56 an ounce. And in growing Fiji tonight, ANZ Bank has opened a new branch in Lamy. Head of Retail Marketing in Fiji, Joanna Sturwitz, says this space will provide customers with convenience and secured banking services. The bank has invested around $8 million in the new branch. She says they have refurbished 3 branches this year, with plans for another 3 to be refurbished next year. And that's a wrap from the business desk for tonight. Jamie joins you now with sports.
Thank you, Rachel, and good evening in sports tonight. McKee awaits report from World Rugby on insurance dispute. And 19-year-old Kandavu girl aims for a spot for 2019 Pacific Games. This and more coming up. Fiji Airways Flying Fijians coach John McKee says they have not received any official report from either Premier Rugby Limited or World Rugby regarding the insurance dispute between the two parties, which may affect teams preparing for the 2019 Rugby World Cup. The Guardian reports that Premiership Rugby may stop players from joining their national team squads until mid-August, which could mean teams will only have their full complement of players 35 days prior to the opening game of the World Cup. Meli Tavanga with the details.
Coach John McKee says they haven't made any formal communication with World Rugby regarding the insurance dispute.
First and foremost, that's a newspaper report, so we don't know if it's exactly factual. Of the situation, we would rely on official communication from World Rugby around the release of our players. We're certainly working on our players being available to us during that time, during that July-August, which is part of the Southern Hemisphere release window.
McKee says they will have a meeting with World Rugby tomorrow in Sydney, but they will also clarify this media report.
It's not the main reason we're meeting with World Rugby tomorrow, but we had a pre-planned meeting with World Rugby in Sydney on Tuesday, and I'd imagine this will be on the agenda at some point.
The report says some of the Fijian players who could be affected are listed as Kempis Ma'afu, Newcastle Falcons trio Tevita Vavumbati, Nemani Nangusa and Veroniki Ngoniva. Meanwhile, Fiji is pooled with Australia, Wales, Georgia and Uruguay in the 2019 Rugby World Cup in Japan. Meli Tawanga, FBC Sports.
Merwalesi Vusoni Tokelau was ecstatic to finally be part of weightlifting Fiji's first trial for the 29 Pacific Games. The 19-year-old girl from Tsoma, Nadeva Kandavu, was the only participant who traveled from beyond Viti Levu to be part of Saturday's trial at the Rambuka Gym in Suva. Meli Tawanga reports.
Being able to showcase her hidden talent was something Merwalesi Vusoni Tokelau was happy about at the trial.
I'm really happy that I finally made it to Suva and be part of the first trial, and I will go back to Kandavu and follow the techniques that I've learned a lot in this trial. It feels so good to be part of it, and I'll try my best to make the final cut.
Merwalesi discovered weightlifting after the Ministry of Sports opened a gym in Kandavu and says her only wish is that her home island might have a facility like the one they used in Suva.
I find it difficult to follow my training program in Kandavu because of the availability of the gym. We only have a gym in the village, and most of the time the boys always occupy the gym and I have to wait for them.
Meanwhile, weightlifting Fiji will continue to spread the sport in other parts of the country.
We build capacity, we want to go around the country because it's not a difficult sport, but it's a sport that you can really be given a platform to be the best you can be.
Weightlifting Fiji will conduct another 4 trials before they select the final squad in April to compete in the 2019 Pacific Games in Samoa. Meli Tawanga, FBC Sports.
The Mba women's football team is now focusing on the 2019 IDC Championship next month after thrashing Rewa 6-1 to defend the Vodafone Women's League title this morning. The women in black led 2-1 at the breather. Corey Tandulala has more.
The strong bonding among the players helped Mbao win the league title second time in a row.
So that's where we always meet up since primary school. It was always well, others went out to town on Saturday. We were always sweating there, and I believe all the sweat and all those years is finally producing a few trophies for us, as we are the champions now in whole of Fiji.
There was no looking back for the Mbao team as they scored 4 more goals in the second half. Rewa captain Naomi Wanganindrola says it was not their lucky day.
Yeah, I think the girls did their best, but it was just hard luck for the team that they didn't win today. And we just want to congratulate Mbao for winning another year of the champions versus champions.
The winner of the Vodafone Women's League title received $1,500 prize money, while second and third place winners received $750 and $500 respectively. Corey Tandulala, FBC Sports.
Liverpool's 3-1 victory over Manchester United has lifted them back to the top of the Premier League. Liverpool needed the win after Manchester City beat Everton yesterday, and it was substitute Sharan Shaqiri's rapid-fire double strike in the second half that gave Jurgen Klopp's side the 3 points they fully deserved. Southampton has ended Arsenal's 22-match unbeaten run and won their first home league game since April. They upset the Gunners 3-2 this morning. Joseph Parker's rise back up the heavyweight ranks has begun. After 2 straight losses, Parker needed to make a statement to prove he is still a force, and he delivered in his third-round victory over Alexander Flores on Saturday night. His new win-at-all-cost attitude is grabbing international attention. In today's play of the day, former Warriors winger Manu Vatuvei needed just 28 seconds for victory in his first bout as a professional boxer, defeating Dave the Brown Butterbean Letele with a first-round knockout in Christchurch on Saturday night. That's it from Sports Tonight. Angie joins you later on with weather, and in tonight's new media, YouTube sets its own record for most disliked video. Details coming up.
New media tonight, YouTube has a new most disliked video, and it's YouTube. And it's weather time now with Angie.
Hello there and welcome to the Weather World. Hope your weekend was good and exciting. It's a week before Christmas. Now, how can we not be excited? Moving on to the weather situation for today. It was quite sunny, but rain clouds are gradually covering up. Looks like a rainy night. Taking a look in the west, it's been really sunny. The clouds were scattered and the sea was a sight that couldn't be missed. Eastwards from Peck Harbour to Suva, another wonderful semi-sun-struck day with showers rolling in by later tonight. And up north, a few light showers and more visiting tonight. At sea, southeast winds 15 to 20 knots, moderate to rough seas. For the tides, high tide at 3:24 a.m. with low tide at 9:31 a.m. Sunrise at 6:26. For tomorrow, more showers coming our way. We can expect some wet weather in the coming days. Tomorrow's temps, all centers will be cool in the low 30s. And looking further into Wednesday, the showers are staying, but sunshine will try its very best to take over. Well, we'll see about that. And that's all from the FBC Weather World. Jackie.
Thanks so much for that, Angie. In Fijian Pulse tonight, we asked, are prices of Christmas cakes reasonable this year?
I will not tell anyone who is going to buy it because it's expensive. If they can afford it, then well and good. If they cannot afford it, it's okay. You can have something else instead of that expensive fruit cake. Yeah.
Yes, I think it's expensive.
It's very expensive.
Expensive. It's very expensive.
I'm not sure about the price, but this Christmas we're going to bake our own cake.
I'm not pretty sure about the price, but I just bought some of my ingredients. I'll just bake at home.
In the world of the weird and the wonderful, Christmas is a time for celebration, and people always come up with creative ideas when it comes to decorations or putting up a Christmas tree. Today we take a look at a mom story who was strapped for cash and makes a Christmas tree out of rubber gloves. Recapping the main stories for tonight, election challenge returns to court Wednesday. Twins bailed after run-in with police, and court-martial sentences soldier to 3 years. Now for these stories and others, you can tune in daily to our sister radio station Gold FM. To our poll question segment, last week we had asked, should we continue roping in age group players into the 7 squad? 70% said yes. This week we're asking, are you satisfied with the price of goods this Christmas? Visit our FBC website to answer. Before we go, our shot of the day was sent in by Shelvin Prasad from Rakiraki. The shot was taken in Pacific Harbour. Remember, you can send us newsworthy pictures and videos on email fbcnews@fbc.com.fj or share it with us via Facebook page FBC News. You can also follow and tweet us your news tips at FBC_news or simply hashtag FBC News. That was your FBC News for tonight from the team and I. Good night.